Rome's Valentine Wish, A Dragonlings of Valdir Story, by S. E. Smith. Performed by David Brenin. Chapter 1. "You are so going to regret this. I'm going to knock you and your big scaly butt to the ground," Havan Hadara growled. His threat was answered with a blast of superheated fire. Havan hurriedly created an energy shield. He had no intention of being burnt to a crisp like the piece of toast his daughter Alice had served him this morning. Though he'd been fast, he could still smell the stench of scorched hair. He lifted a hand to his head. Imagining wisps of smoke rising from his long hair sent a shudder through him. A wiggle of his fingers created a small shower of water over the heated strands. If he wasn't careful, he was going to have a tough time explaining why he looked like a crispy, drowned rat. His eyes widened with alarm when the dragon in front of him suddenly turned and swung its tail at him. Havan dove to the side and rolled. The movement caused him to lose his focus on the shield. Another wave of dragon fire swept toward him, and he dematerialized a fraction of a second before it would have hit. When he rematerialized, he found himself in the last place he wanted to be, on the back of the damn beast. The thought had slipped into his mind at the last second. He tumbled forward, wrapping his arms around the dragon's neck to keep from being thrown off. A vehement curse slipped from him when the dragon furiously bucked. However uncomfortable the seat, though, it occurred to Havan that he was in the safest spot to avoid being roasted or stepped on by the nearly 24 men, dragons, and cats ferociously locked in battle. With a thought, a bridle appeared around the dragon's head and a saddle appeared under him. A wicked gleam of satisfaction coursed through him. He might as well enjoy the battle a little more before he demanded a humiliating concession. The gleeful pleasure quickly turned to unease when he felt the dragon's body tense a fraction of a second before it shot up off the ground in a breathtaking burst of energy. As the ground disappeared below, Havan weighed his options. He could teleport back to the ground and give up on this fight, or he could— "Hi, Daddy!" a cheerful voice called out, distracting him. "What the— dragon's balls!" he cursed. The dragon under him took advantage of his distraction, bowed his head, and bucked, snapping the tip of its tail against Havan's ass as he rose in the air. The sharp slap stung like hell, and he put the reins in one hand so he could rub his offended butt cheek. Of course, the damn dragon took the upper hand and twisted in a barrel roll. Havan went airborne again, scowling and glaring, while his daughter giggled as she flew past him on the back of a purple and gold dragon. Dangling from the reins, Havan swung in a slow circle, twisting around until he was staring face to face with the clearly amused creature. He turned his ire on the glowing golden eyes of the dragon when the beast opened his mouth and blew a snort of hot air around him. "Did you know about that?" he demanded, waving a hand in the direction his young daughter had disappeared. The dragon rumbled with delight. Havan had enough. He released the reins and fell. He twisted and crossed his arms in irritation as he sped toward the ground. He ignored the chaos below him. Instead, he searched in the direction where Alice and Balent had disappeared. A pair of strong claws wrapped around his waist, stopping his rapid descent. "I had this under control," he snapped, glancing over his shoulder at the dragon. "What I don't have under control is your son giving my daughter a ride." He jerked like a rag doll when the dragon chuckled. Havan didn't see what was so funny. He knew he wasn't the only one who had noticed how Alice and Balent gravitated to one another. The moment his feet hit the ground and the dragon released him, he stepped away. He'd only taken 2 steps when he felt a strong hand on his shoulder. Havan reached up to grip the man's wrist, but the warrior must have expected his next move, because he ducked under Havan's outstretched arm to stand in front of him. "They're just being kids," Keelan said, with a shake of his head. "Kids. Alice said Balent has beautiful—"
Sample complete. Ready to continue?